And welcome to the super fun, awesome, happy time pedal and today rack mount kind of thing show. My name is Gabor.
Yeah, hey, welcome along.
Good intro.
I nailed it. Hey, I'm Alex. This is the MW1 from Creation Audio Labs, this box here. This was hooked up to us through Kang at G4
Hey, Kang.
in Sydney. Hey, man. Happy you all. Now, what is the MW1, Gabor?
I don't know. You've been using it. What is the MW1 Studio Tool, Alex?
It's kind of...
Is it a studio tool?
It is, yeah. So what it is for, it's for guitar. It's for recording your guitar through.
In a studio?
In the studio.
So it's like a tool.
Tool for recording your guitar. So it's kind of... It's two sections. It's the front end of your recording guitar sound, and there's also a reamp section. So we're going to check out some features, get some sounds, show what we can do with it. If you can hit like and subscribe on the video, give us a thumbs up, ding the notification bell, and comments, questions below.
Yes, please.
Because there probably will be some.
And there's timestamps for everything below as well, chapters or whatever you want to call it. So you can skip ahead if you don't like beautiful banter.
Okay, so the front section is what you would record your guitar through.
Yes.
So this could be before your amp, before maybe an amp sim thing or whatever it is.
Okay.
So this first section is your input. But it has an input sorry, not an attenuation. It's a what do you call it?
I don't know.
You know the word. I've gone blank. A
Banana.
impedance control.
Oh, impedance. Oh, input impedance. Okay, yes.
As well as an attenuation. So the you actually gets brighter as you give it more, and gets darker.
Yeah. Well, the impedance. Yeah. So yeah.
So that's what that means. There's a mute for your input. Now this section is what goes to your amplifier, and there's a clean boost and also an impedance on that, and then there's a direct line out. Now this is kind of one of its main selling features, so you can go record your guitar amp but also line out and record your clean DI signal, which can be used later for reamping, amp sims, just mangling up with weird plugins. Whatever you want to do.
Okay. So it splits your signal basically as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And the last bit is your control for your reamping.
Okay.
Just comes back through your clean out of your DAW through this, and then it level matches impedance matches it for the front end of a guitar signal chain. With about
cool.
effects or an amplifier. That's kind of self-explanatory. But what we are going to do to demonstrate what we can do with this today...
Yes, Alex, what are we doing, Alex?
We're going to do some mad 80s wet, dry, wet stuff.
We are?
You don't know about this, do you?
No, he hasn't told me about it yet.
Okay, so how I have set it up today.
Okay.
It's set up today. I've got our guitars going into the input. Now, the straight output is going to a guitar amp, which is a Cherrytone OTS Mini 20. Now that's going through a 2 Notes Torpedo Captor X, which is an IR cabinet simulation.
Yes.
Which does like virtual cabinets, and that's in stereo. So, because I've got some mad old digital rack gear, we're going through some stereo effects as well.
Oh, that's why they're all on. Okay.
That's all that.
The light show over here.
Probably see them flashing.
Yeah.
So this guitar signal is going through an amp, virtual amp sims, stereo effects.
Okay.
Okay. Now the middle part of the the dry bit, that's going out of the balance line out into the UAD Apollo.
Okay.
And there's an amp sim on that.
Okay.
Which is a plexi with a rat plug-in in front of it.
A ratty plexi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we get wet, dry, wet.
Oh yeah, okay, because you've got the real amp with that in stereo.
Stereo.
And then you've got the direct signal in mono. In the center.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
So, should we hear some of that?
Sure. Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm playing my Fano Omnis MG6. Lovely guitar. I like it a lot. And okay, so I haven't actually tried this yet. So I literally just arrived, set up the cameras, and Alex said, we're doing this first. And I said, okay.
So what's happening? Okay, turn everything off. So you should have no guitar signal. This is the guitar amp in stereo IRs.
So that's what we usually use for videos. Okay, yeah.
And that's also bit driven because you've got super hot output.
Yeah, they're high output pickups, yeah.
Now, this is the Plexi Sim. Can you see me in the camera? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Plexi with an amp with a rat simulated pedal in the front of it.
It's a bit more kazunga-y.
Yeah, so the reason I chose this because the amp itself is a kind of dumble Fender thing, so it's a little bit scooped.
Okay, and that's a bit mid forward.
Mid-forward with the Marshall.
So you're evening things out.
Yeah, so when you add them together...
Okay. That's good.
So that's our dry, wet, dry, wet. Only because there's no effects on it.
Well, it's dry.
Dry.
What is it? Bit of reverb, is there?
Tiny bit of
Tiny
reverb.
bit of
on
reverb.
it. So we can start with the impedance, which I forgot again.
Okay.
So if you turn it down.
It just gets a bit darker, little more.
Yeah, it's more noticeable with had the humbuckers before.
Yeah. Well, it's like a long cable run, basically. Yeah. That's what it sort of...
So maybe with those a little bit more than usual.
Cool.
The mute shuts you up.
Okay.
Now, this section that's going to the amplifier, we have a clean boost and an impedance of that too. So we can check out the boost section.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's hitting it hard, isn't it? Cool.
And then we've also got a gain on the line output, which is going to the amp sim, which is in the middle.
This sounds really good.
So there's the blended 2 amp sounds.
Okay.
Now, if you press bypass on the mod and the echo, which are
the mod and the echo.
Yeah, you should get some chorusing and delay.
That is definitely 80s.
Yeah.
Goes on for a while. Sounds cool.
How about that?
Sounds good.
With some humbuckers, does the same thing.
Okay, now let's try with... This one, is that the overall impedance, or is this the impedance for the amps?
Full input of guitar. So
or general overall. Okay,
yeah.
well, let's... And then this is... This one is the amp, and that one's the direct? That's direct gain.
Yeah, there's only impedance on the line out to the amp, the input, and back in from the
okay, so that's a line out to the... Okay, cool. Well, let me play around with the impedances.
The other thing I noticed, which is kind of cool trick, if you want more effect, you turn the boost down from the amp sim and up from the amp, because that has the effects on it.
Yeah, that makes it more subtle. Yeah, cool, yeah.
And vice versa, if it's more ambient, you can boost up.
You can notice it much more with the humbuckers.
Yes.
The input impedance.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, and of course, if you just didn't put the amp sim on the direct out, and printed that as a clean DI signal, you can go back
Reamp,
post
reamp it later on.
and
Or apply a different... Well, I mean, then you have any kind of amp sim you want to put on it because you have a dry signal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not with the UAD because the UAD you print it.
That's
it's
right.
Pre-DAW.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm using the UAD one because we can do it in real time.
Yeah.
But if you do it, you can use any manufacturer's plugins. It could do bit crusher stuff. You could use mad octave effects. You can
Even as I
make it
find
not sound like a guitar.
I find with some recording having a direct signal that's just a kind of really dirty, distorted direct signal that sort of sits in the background.
Sure, yeah.
It just adds, not necessarily, you can't necessarily hear it, but it adds, it fills up the sound.
What I found with this rat plexi type effects combo is it kind of just pushed it forward. Boop.
Yeah, because it's got the mid forward.
All
thing.
that mid range, yeah.
Let me hear another go. Let me hear another go. Yeah, and that makes it go way more in the background, the effect. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool, just doing it that way, yeah. That's a cool sound. That's cool. That's a big sound. I mean, that's massive sound.
Yes, yeah. And it kind of comes with the effect of doing wet, dry, wet.
Yeah.
So this makes it
And I mean,
pretty
this
easy
is
to-
something, I guess with this is something that anyone can do. If you have an amp, you record the amp. I mean, in this case, we've got the stereo effects going with the amp, but you could have the stereo effects on the amp sim. So you can have your amp as a dry in the middle,
Yes.
and then you can use the stereo effects with that just by splitting it.
And you can say if you've just got a small setup at home on an office table or office desk, you could say like your HX Stomp.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
could go through that in stereo plus
Yeah.
print the dry thing, and then maybe use ambient plugins like
Yeah.
some delays or something to
Yeah.
get the wet
Yeah.
spread. Yeah.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool.
And that's pretty much it. There's features. Oh, there's pretty much all the I/O that's on it is mimicked on the back, so you can have. Let's put a picture up, but all the inputs and outputs are
Front and back. So if you have it in your rack,
Yeah.
you can have it permanently in.
except for the XLR.
But you could also have it, I guess, in the front. You can repatch it.
Yep.
Yeah. Whichever way you want to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of. I never really thought about it, but it would be pretty handy.
It seems pretty handy,
Yes.
especially having a. I mean, we do a lot of stereo pedals. For example, we do a lot of demos with stereo pedals, but you basically amp-wise, you really only have a mono amp setup at the moment.
So yeah.
But like this, instead of using two cab sims or two amp sims,
Yep.
we could do a stereo setup with this. That's cool.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Yeah,
Could it be handy for you?
yeah. Recording studio tool. It's kind of all in the name, isn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks again to Kang for sending this up for check out.
Jesus 4 in Sydney. If you're in Sydney, go and check out Jesus 4 or anywhere in Australia. Really, they do some really cool stuff.
Yeah, they have a website that's on the whole internet.
They can even on the whole internet.
Yeah.
You can even purchase one of those lovely
can.
Sire guitars that Alex was playing before off them because they're the Australian kind of distributors, I guess, for Sire. So.
Yeah, check it out. Hey, yeah, thanks for hanging. We'll see you soon. Catch ya.